A brief moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everybody, welcome board members. We have a forum. Our member Eric Lindeman is attending remotely, and the four board members are here in person, so everybody is present in the family floor. We have a forum, and I'm calling the meeting. Today's meeting, June 16th, 2026, in the Chatham County Board of Elections to order. As is always the case, the first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda for today's meeting. Presumably, everybody has had a chance to review it. Any comments? Comments? We have a motion to approve. You second?
I second, but we should correct. Spelling a hole.
Okay, so under new business, item number 2. Is it HOLLIN?
It's HOLLAND. No S.
No S. Okay. So,
I second.
okay, so we'll amend to correct the spelling of Chatham Church. We have as amended, voting to approve. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the May meeting. These were circulated Friday to all board members. They are somewhat lengthy. Erica, thank you very much for going through in detail the recording to get it right. Much appreciated. Do you have any comments? Questions?
Yeah.
She did a nice job. She had to re-listen to the meeting, so. Anyway, do we have a motion to approve?
I move it for the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It's good.
Oh. Did Erica vote yes?
She raised her hand. Erica, do you have a comment?
Unmute your microphone.
You do.
Sorry, who was the seconder?
It was Bob.
No, it's me.
Oh, we'll let Lori do it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Moving into the next order of business, public input. Anybody in the audience have any questions, comments, observations they want to make? Hearing none, check that box. Moving into new business. Pandora, you're going to be doing Chance's part and your part for the director's report. You have the floor.
Okay, so I'll start off with campaign finance. If the candidates are on the ballot in 2026, the second quarter report will be due on July the 10th, 2026. And if they're not on the ballot for 2026, the mid-year semi-annual is due July the 31st, 2026. I have the voter registration statistics. Currently, the total number of voters as of June the 15th, 2026 in Chatham County is 64,257. Probably that document, this document is in the folder. It has the current voter registration statistics. The current voter registration statistics.
This one,
Yes, that's it.
I'm share with first.
Okay, so as you can see, we have it for each month, as of, June the 15th, 2026, you see the new registrations for June, from between May the 19th and June the 15th, 323 new registrations. And there were 88 Democrats, 61 Republicans, 172 unaffiliated, 1 Libertarian, and 1 Green Party. And Marvin, if you'll go to that next document in the bio, which you have it attached. This is the list maintenance report. So that's separate. Yeah. And this is how many people were removed, the duplicates. There were only 4. There were 47 death removals and 2 felon removals.
So Pandora, you may not have an answer to this question, but we do know, we have heard, of course, that there are 34,000 voters on the voter rolls who we understand are deceased based on federal information. And I think the vast majority of those are indicated to be deaths that occurred out of state. Are all of these removals, are they all in state? Do we know?
Yes.
They are. Okay.
Did you say 34,000 or
34,000.
Statewide?
No, not in Chatham, but just in the state of North Carolina. We don't know how many there are that's going to show up from Chatham County, but we haven't gotten any data yet on where they are, whether or not they voted or anything of the sort.
Thing we don't have is, the duration interval of that 34,000 represents, is it a decade of deaths, is it 20 years of deaths, so 30 years of deaths? We don't know.
But, so that's those reports. And then I'm just going to give you some brief notes on our election connection that we have this day on some Wednesdays. We had this one on June 3rd. So Chief of Staff Brian Levesque gave the following updates on behalf of Executive Director Sam Hayes. Early voting bills are being monitored, so I don't think any of them has moved their signature, so they're monitored. The hearing rules that were made based off the citizenship status that were adopted, they've been put in a suspended state. I think they got enough what do you call it? They have to get so many complaints, something. But they are suspended right now. Going back and looking at it. I have to go back and look at it.
Could you explain that a little bit more? Who are you talking about exactly?
The citizenship status, the hearing rules, remember they were making the rules for the people who, what was it, had the.
So I think what's happened, I could stand to be corrected on this, but what has happened is they promulgated these rules, and we talked about this a little bit last meeting.
The state.
The state board of elections promulgated these rules and opened those rules for public hearings, right? And they've gotten, and between the comments that they've gotten from public hearings, they've got to go through, I don't know if they have to revisit them before they actually go to the Rules Review Commission, which would be the next step before getting finalized. But there's another set of rules that they've been considering that I think may actually have to go back or be open for extended public comments. I'm not sure about it, but I think that's what Brian Levesque is talking about.
I know
Yes, ma'am.
one set of public comments is open until July 15th. And I think that's the one about the citizenship and the due process involved. And it started in May 15th and it was 60 days of public comment. So it's still open.
So comments are still open, and then I don't know if it comes back to the state board to revise those in connection with those public comments, or if it probably does before they actually send it to the Rules Review Commission.
I'm not sure. There was another promulgated rule that they got 14,000 comments, but they approved it anyway.
Yeah, and
So-
I know there's another set, and I
And
just can't remember what
They
they
don't
are.
have names. So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
Thanks
there's a
for,
lot going on.
but I know the comments are still open.
okay, thank you for that.
Okay, And the bulk, okay, this is the bulk of the 34,000 deceased voters identified with the federal systematic alien verification for entitlements, that's the SAVE. And database were registered in North Carolina and they died out of state within the last 8 years. So that's how far it goes back. And the date of death was not included in this data, which is kind of holding up the progress for moving forward. And the North Carolina State Board of Elections is working with, legislatures on these guidelines. They're working to see how they can get this worked out, see how they can identify these people and make sure that they have all the information correct before they move forward with, removing people or saying that this is the right person. But the date of death was left out. They don't have the correct date of death. So then, the Deputy Director of Election Administration, Parker Holland, stated that the counties can now see the State Board of Elections, state elections information to management systems, admin module to add users or reset users. In our office, we were not able to do that. So it really has nothing to do with public. It's basically the office. They did that at the state. When we got a new person hired, we had to send their name information to the state. We can now manage that here in our office. That
What are you managing?
passwords and get them hooked up to be able to get into Seams modules. And they have moved into phase 2 of the Seams modernization on May 29th. And we have what we call geocode. That's where we do all of our adding our roads, and so they're moved into updating that module. It's not ready yet, but they're in the process of updating. There will not be a change in the absentee ballot envelope. The Constitution Party is now collecting signatures to be on the ballot for 2028. Their petition expires June 1st, 2028. Provisional envelopes are being redesigned. They have not been redesigned yet. I don't know if they will be for the general election this year, but we can use our current provisional envelopes if it's not completed.
Excuse me, do you know what they were thinking about or considering in terms of modifying the absentee ballot envelope?
I don't. No, I don't know what that wants. And so voters with the unvalidated driver's license, social security number letters will be mailed at the end of August, and a list of these voters will be made available. This group of voters are separate from the registration repair voters. And the letters that we received from the registration repair voters, we are being told to hold them per the retention schedule. So they've not told us what to do with those letters yet, but we're just supposed to hang on to them. The ones that we returned because the mail not received in the mail. So they told us to hold on to them.
Are there a lot of those?
We had several. I don't know exactly how many, but it was a stack.
These are undeliverable.
Yes. They're
They're
undeliverable.
forward.
The voter registration, some of you may be familiar with, the Voter Participation Center and the Center for Voter Information. They have mailed out voter registrations now to, all of 100 counties in North Carolina. And Chatham County has 1,399 from the Voter Participation Center and 826 from the, Center for Voter Information, for a total of 2,225 registrations. So those have been mailed out. We won't say we'll get them all back, but we do get some of those in. A lot of them are already registered. So, and there may be a few new registrations.
So these are people that have filled out a form produced by these organizations?
This organization, I meant to look to see if those were pre-filled, but I'm not sure if they were.
So they're being sent out by the organization. It's not clear, I asked Pandora about this, it's not clear whether those organizations have pre-filled any of the information in those forms, but they're being mailed out to specific voters that they've obviously identified as thinking that they are eligible and may not be represented.
And I don't know,
It's attempting to find ineligible voters.
and I don't know if these people have voted in two elections.
I don't know.
But we get a lot of them sent in to us, and then, I don't know if some people may get them and fill them in.
So let me ask you, this voter participation center, that's a private organization. That's not us, that's not the state.
I know it's an approved organization, because otherwise they wouldn't allow them to mail them to us. So the state board, the state is aware of these mailings. They can't send them, we wouldn't be able to process them if they were not approved.
By the state.
Yes,
This is a private organization approved by the state.
I'm not sure if it's private or if it,
Somehow they-
Nonprofit.
Well, they're some form of nonprofit.
yes. And they've been around for a long time, I do know that. I think we have received these ever since I've been something similar to them. Do you know what they are, Vicky?
Those particular ones I know I've seen around for a while. But my understanding of the law is that anybody can give an official voter registration form to anybody. You cannot pre-fill it. And once the applicant starts to fill it out, you have to turn it into the Board of Elections. You can't, tear up ones that you don't like or Mickey Mouse registering or anything like that. But it's a publicly available document. But you don't need to be approved in order to give it to someone.
But are you allowed to gather them up? If you're in an event, can they fill them out and you create a stack of them that you mail?
Yes, but I mean, the rules are all on the Board of Elections website. You have to turn them into the Board of Elections within 5 days. And you can't keep any of the information in there's some groups that are allowed to keep some of the information. Maybe that's where the registration comes in, so that they can call back the person closer to election. But if you're going to try to sell Tupperware or something, to the people, you can't.
They also, the form is sent out, I think, with, a letter. And it also probably explains on what it is, but then it has if they don't want to receive it anymore, there's a number on that call. There's also an email where they can say, don't send me this anymore. So there's a way to get off the list. So I'm pretty sure the data they get it from the State Board of Elections, in order to get the names, otherwise they wouldn't have them. I'm not sure how they get them.
So I'm gonna make one comment. 1993, the Motor Voter Act outsourced voter registration for boards of election to state agencies. Federal military recruitment offices. And now we have civilian hobbyists filling out voter registrations from everybody. And that is why I suggest to this body that we have backwards and upside down signatures, incomplete forms and omissions and slashes, because they're not as serious about their voter registrations as people in this room. We are expected to clean up the mess. And something's a duplicate and something's backwards. We have to clean up the mess. And if I was king of North Carolina, I'd say, you fill out forms, you clean up the mess. That's important information. Now I'll quit comment.
All right, so, Marvin and Alec and Dominic went with them, and the, Chatham County Safety and Risk Manager Julie Cheek went to all 18 election day polling places on the, ADA accessibility surveys, which I do every 2 years for compliance with the Department of Justice and the Americans with Disability Act. So that has been done for 2 years now. And I'll have to send those documents in to the state, put them in a folder just so we can see that we looked at all of our polling places.
When you say 2 years, meaning they've done it now, and then it will have to be done again for 2 years.
So, important dates and deadlines, soil and water, filing has begun. No one has come in to file. It started June 8th, it ends July 6th. Chatham County celebrates the America 250. The Board of Elections will have a space at this event to provide voting information at the Chatham County Agriculture and Conference Center on June 27th at 10 a.m. We will provide photo ID for qualified residents, and also we'll have voter registration applications there and any other information that anybody might need to know about voting. So we will be there that day. The write-in signature petitions due this August, July 21st. Early voting plans, of course, are due July 24th, which we've already adopted, which we have to amend one of the sites. And then, of course, because it wasn't unanimous to vote this date, I'll have to jump in on that. And then again, write-in signature sheets along with the declaration of intent has to be submitted to the North Carolina State Board of Elections by noon on Wednesday, August the 5th. And then, of course, the State Board of Elections Summer Conference for the board and staff, August 9th through August 11th at the Sheraton in Greensboro. And of course, the deadline to adopt the resolution to alter precinct is September 18th. We've already sent our paperwork in for West Siler City, put into that precinct for the site to be drawn into the lines. And we should hear something soon back from the state, because they have to approve that. That's all I have.
Thank you for that. Next item on the agenda is to approve an alternate early voting site versus what was already approved at the last meeting. And/or you want to give us a brief recital of what happened with
We got a call and then we got a letter. New Hope is no longer going to have early voting at church. They obviously have gotten to be very busy with a lot of events, and having to be there for that many days kind of cuts into some of their events. So we asked Holland Chapel, and they graciously said we could go there. Now, New Hope will be an election day polling site. It will remain there for election day. So East Williams still has the same precinct. This won't be used for early voting. We focus on Holland Chapel tonight. That will be the early vote site for general election.
sorry.
Yes. We'll put a sign there, letting them know that we go to Holland Chapel.
So Holland Chapel is election day for that precinct, which is the election day site already. So.
Yes, it's,
Right.
there's no problem with that, but people might show up.
Right, no, I understand. I was just making it clear that it already is, that's the site that we usually election day. And assuming all board members have been there one or more times, playing with the layout, and it actually is quite similar to New Hope.
And some large area. Closure.
Frank, I know you have a comment.
I do. So I'm gonna make a case, I'm gonna do this in about 1 minute, why, church voting sites and private property voting sites are, in my opinion, not good. And public property voting sites are good. So my first question would be, when will our alternate site at Holland Chapel be deemed as having pre-planning events that are more important than our voting? Because that's just what happened at New Hope Baptist Church.
I don't know, but we will have an agreement that they will have to let us know 6 months in advance.
So this is the issue, is that we have a problem of voting sites on the east side. Now, we've got Silas City early voting sites, Golston Town Hall sites, Chatham County Agriculture sites, Chatham Central Carolina Community College. These are all public sites. We got New Hope as a private site, and this Holland Chapel Church is a private site, all subject to the whim and fancy and caprice of the bosses of the private side. East venues, I'm gonna suggest to this body, are, if they're private, they're unacceptable. In the long term, we should seek a private side. I think we used the Bold building in the past, and that turned out to be unsatisfactory, or we don't use it anymore. We used Carolina Meadows in the past, did we not, as a voting site?
It was the satellite site.
And that one, we don't do anymore. And then we had an event center over there in a retail that went like bankrupt or something at the 11th hour, and we couldn't use that site. I'm making a case that private brick and mortar is unreliable to this body. So the other problem is that the east side is growing rapidly. You got Cary encroaching, Apex is encroaching on the east side. You got, I guess, this Chatham Park stuff over on the east side. So these, the Jordan Lake area is a rapid growth area. So I would make a suggestion to this body that we make some sort of plans somehow, somewhere, to have a public building on the east side of Jordan Lake. I don't know how best to do that. Doesn't have to happen between now and 6 months from now, but in the long term, we need to have a school or a firehouse or some sort of public real estate that we can commandeer or we could use, and they may be multi-use. And I think I'll stand down with that.
Well, the way we do that, we have, certainly don't have the budget to, and the county's not going to give us the money to build our own building. The way we would do that is to begin making and signaling to the county that we're going to be making capital requests in the future, that if public buildings are built, whether they be schools, volunteer fire departments, sheriff auxiliary stations, that accommodations be made and incorporated into the design of those buildings so that they can accommodate voting. Even if we make capital requests like that for equipment, generally what we do is try to start signaling that we're going to need that 2 or 3 years in advance, because equipment's a little easier to accommodate than buildings. Buildings are on more like a 7-year schedule. So we just need to start signaling that now, and signaling that every single year until they decide to build a building up there. And short of that, I don't know if there are any public buildings east of Jordan Lake. The only one that I know of, and it's not even east of Jordan Lake, is down in the southern portion of the county in the school, and it's a polling place in the southeast of us. But that's not going to work for early voting. Way down there. Right.
So
It's really been a problem for years
Yeah.
that we have no public buildings in North Chatham, and it continues to be a problem.
I think they're still looking for North Chatham, but we need to put this on the radar for the east side. I think we did look at a fire station at one point on that side, but the parking is not good. And also, we were in fire stations and we got out of fire stations because there could be complications should they have a fire. They don't really like for us to be there. They don't like to pull their trucks out of the bay for us to set up. So there's issues all over the place. And when we find somewhere, we graciously receive it until we can do better. Because this is better than nothing at this time, until something better comes along. And so we can put that in the ear of the county to look on that end to put a public building as well. Because they're still looking for something on the northern end. I just spoke to Carolyn Miller about this on Friday, with my quarterly meeting with her.
So, and they're just looking for what?
They have land, but there's issues. So,
you just said the secret word. If they have land, they can build a metal shed and
there were some issues.
electrify, use it.
But they're not gonna build anything specifically for election. It'll have to be something that we can join.
We need to.
It'll be a multi-use building. Yeah. But that's what they have in their mind now when they're building these extra public buildings. That is something that we can use as well.
So I suggest we don't forget about this. and we keep it on the, and we knock on their door.
We'll start with the budget process, which will begin in November, December, and just
Probably start
make that request. This is what we need.
And you think outside the box, like maybe a fire station, maybe they need to buy the lot next door, put a shed on it, big shed that can be used for storage, and then we use it twice a year for voting. I mean, I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
But
I have been doing this long enough to know that they're not gonna build us any polling places. I know. They're not. So we have to take what's available until we can do better.
so then we'll be stumbling, I predict we'll be stumbling prices to prices over on the east side.
Not so
We'll see.
late.
We'll see.
We always make it work.
All right. Having had that spirited discussion, we have a motion to approve Holland Chapel Church as the new early voting site on the east side.
Approve the Holland Chapel Church. Early voting.
I'll second it because, part of life is hypocrisy.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, we have unanimity. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item of business on the agenda, which is the approval of the new multi-partisan assistant team members. And Nora, do you want to lead into this? Or you want me to lead into it?
Well, Gabe, Marvin, can you pull this? I just printed this off just because somebody may not know the purpose of the multi-partisan assistance teams and actually what they are. They are teams that, multi-partisan teams that we have here that go out to different facilities to assist with completing absentee ballot request forms. The law 08 NCAC 16.0101. Each county board of elections shall assemble and provide training to a multi-partisan assistance team to respond to requests for voter assistance for any primary, general election, referendum, or special election. For every primary or election listed in paragraph A of this rule, the team should be made available in each county to assist patients and residents in every covered facility in that county in requesting or casting absentee ballots as provided by Article 21 of subchapter 3 of Chapter 163A of General Statutes. So what we do is we notify all these facilities with Sarah sends an email out to the activities director most of the time. And it is the facility's responsibility to contact us for the assistance. We can't push our way in there. They have to contact us if they want us to come to them. So we send it out to them and most of them do contact us. And then we set up times and dates when these teams can go out to assist with completing the absentee ballots. The request form. And then once they get the request forms, once the ballots are mailed out, if some of them need assistance with completing their ballot, then the teams are available to do that as well. So that's what the purpose is. And then, of course, establishing the multi-partisan assistance teams. We contacted people, sent the names to the parties. They are registered Democrats and registered Republicans. I think we have one person on the team that is unaffiliated and they can be used as long as there is Democrat and a Republican. We have them here. So we went through the proper channels. The party said it was okay to put these people's names down. Now the Board of Elections shows duty to approve them.
So everybody's aware, we have existing teams. There were 3 Democrats and 3 Republicans and 1 unaffiliated that are currently serving, that were certified in June of 2025. Once you're certified, you serve a 2-year term. We've experienced an increase in demand, if you will, and staff has indicated that they wanted to have a good deal more Republican and Democrat members who can constitute additional teams so that there's less stress put on we only really have enough for 3 teams right now, whether, because it's 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans, one unaffiliated. So what we're gonna do tonight is presumably approve, we have an additional 6 Democrats and an additional 6 Republicans who have agreed to serve on these teams. And they would have to go through trainings, take the appropriate oath, and then they would serve upon approval for 2-year terms that would expire in June of 2028.
How many teams did you say we have right now? 3 teams?
Well, we basically have enough for 3 teams.
And so we're gonna add 6 more teams.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
Can I make a, observation?
Please.
Show the, blue, text that you just had, Marvin, with the, that has the rules in it.
It's two
Yeah.
items,
So
so
the very first line at the top, it says each county board of elections shall assemble and provide training to a multi-partisan assistance team. It does not say county chairs of political parties shall assemble and provide training. So this is extra party chair
Correct.
assembly of a team.
Correct.
And is this a director board of elections assembly or so the old way we used to do early voting was, it was a domain of the director. And it's 23 that changed.
So
it's
staff.
still on here. But we just always send the name, just so the parties will know who their people are that's represented.
So that's a courtesy.
Yeah.
So this is still the domain for the director? Is that-
That's the domain of the board. That's the
Board.
staff's, yes, and it's our duty to approve or disapprove.
And then you're including the chairs as a courtesy.
If you look on the back, if you look down here at appointment of MAC members, it states right there in that first bullet point that MAC members may be recruited by county board directors. May. And staff, but must be appointed by the county boards.
All right.
So let's just say that the party chairs have been given an opportunity to recruit. Sure.
And I think
Which they have.
Just wanted to make sure. So, because the other way we do now, early voting, and I guess this is kind of a quasi early voting for people who are disabled, is we do party chairs.
Quick question, just about how the NAT teams work. If there's a non-cooperating, facility, that just, you don't get a response, nobody's moving, but you get a call from somebody in that facility who wants to vote, but needs NAT team assistance, can a NAT team go to that person?
I know during COVID they could. I don't know if because the facility didn't respond. It was going through facilities, I'm not sure, I could ask about that.
Yeah. It would be, it seems like it would be too bad if all the people in the facility were cut off
Yeah,
because
but we do have one facility, don't want the MAC teams to come, Sour City. One that just does not participate. I mean, and we can't force them. So I'm pretty sure if, I don't know if our MAC teams can go into the facility though, I don't know if they would allow it. They didn't approve, didn't initiate us coming.
Well, presumably, other than that one facility, if we get contacted, we can always reach out to the facility and say, you haven't contacted us.
Yeah.
We want to come, you have
Well,
a voter or voters who.
Yeah, we did. Well, when we send the initial, invitation, sort of, like when we say, we have MAC teams available, but, and we also let them know in the email that they have to let us know before we can send them out there. You can't just go on. But I think they just chose not to do it because of something that happened there sometimes. But sometimes what happens, I'm gonna be honest, some of the parents, I mean, not the parents, the children will go and their parents have a ballot, and they get upset over it. But that's the parents, if the parent says they want the ballot, then we will assist them in getting the ballot. But they think that we're forcing it on them. or something. They don't understand, but we explain that to them when, they go in to get it. And so I think that's one reason why some facilities back away because of some of the children.
Well, you could check on that.
Yeah, good to know.
Any other comments? Well, seeking a motion to approve this list of Democrat and Republican candidates for staff and the Met teams.
We have approved the, MAC team members, that are listed on the sheet that's been distributed. Need to read all the names.
No, I don't think we need to do that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Erica.
Who was the
Great.
seconder? Excuse me, who was the seconder?
All right.
Thank
I
you.
see. Bobby, you, the person.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I got Bob. I didn't get Lori. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business of tonight's meeting. Have a motion to adjourn.
Say we adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, and everybody in the audience.
Thank you.